So I'm under my truck, and several people have suggested that it's the fuel pump that is making the noise. And you can't get to the fuel pump without taking the entire bed off the truck, which I'm not going to do, obviously. But if you can see up here, there is the bundle of wires from the fuel pump right here. Oh, dirt. So I might be able to get some toroids. If I get some toroids and choke this off before it gets further into the truck, if I do that, will that make a difference? But the first thing I'm going to do is do another test. I'm going to take the truck outside, and you can see one of my grounding straps right there. I'm going to take the truck outside and start it up and use my little detection coil here, my little detector coil I have with the radio, and see if it picks up any noise from this, because that is the only electrical wires I see coming back this far over here. These are the fuel lines themselves. It looks like a breather tube, brake line. So yeah, so I can check. There's a little box here too. I'm not sure what that's for. But yeah, I think I'll give that a try and see if I could choke it off back here before it gets too far or uses too much wire as an antenna to radiate. Maybe that'll make a difference. We'll see. I'll keep you updated. The same test setup as I had before, with the vertical antenna out in the yard, coax coming into the truck. There's no noise. My truck is a push button start, so obviously somebody just came on that frequency. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the radio by pressing the push to start once. That's like a pre-accessory mode, and we'll see what we get. So that was a pre-accessory mode. Nothing else came on, and the radio is turned on. It's not playing, but the radio is on. There was a burst of noise, a little RF, and then it disappeared. So let's press it a second time, and that's in accessory mode, where you can put up the windows and everything else. Again, little burst of RF when I did that as well. Now if I put my foot on the brake, it stopped. It came on for a second and then stopped. Okay, so in accessory mode, everything seems to be okay. So let's turn it off accessory mode. And now I'm going to get my little detector loop. I'm going to start the truck, and I'm going to try sensing back around the back of the truck where the fuel pump is, and see if I get RF, if I can detect the RF back there. Okay, the truck's running. Let's see. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm putting the sensor right near the wires coming from the fuel pump. So I am detecting RF back there. Let me turn the truck off. So it is detecting RF back there. So I guess I could try putting some chokes on there and see if I can. So I got 2 ferrite cores clamped onto the cable coming from the fuel filter, the fuel pump. They're not as close as I want them to be. There's a wrap around the cabling that my snap-on toroids just won't fit over. But if this shows any indication of it working, I can buy bigger ones and just put a bunch of them back there. But let's see, there's 2 big ones back there. So let's see if this makes any difference at all. It's hard to tell, to be honest. It looked like it was right around an S7 and S9. So I'm going to, sorry, there's dust all over the camera from being under the truck. I'm gonna hop down. Everything's back to the way it was. All toroids have been removed. Let's see. Less noise when the toroids were in place. But it seems like more noise than when the wires were just separated. So I don't know what that means. I don't. It's definitely, let's take a look. Let's take a look together. There's the boy. You being good? So here's what I'm talking about. Hopefully I'm framing this properly. This controller box or whatever it is, this little box right here, these wires, these 2 wires off the main, this is the wire coming from the fuel pump, it looks like. If I take these 2 wires, cut this off and let them hang down, I seem to get less noise. I put toroids on this wire and I put toroids on these wires, and the noise level goes up. So that doesn't make sense to me. I would think that no matter what you do, putting toroids, you know, clamping, you know, clamp on ferrite cores onto the wires would stop RF. But apparently it's doing something else, and I'm not sure what it's doing. There are brake lines running underneath this box. That box is anchored to the frame, so I'm sure that box is grounded. I'm not sure what it is, if it's a fuel pump. Yeah, those wires continue up the frame. I don't know. Let me get my little detection loop and see if those wires have more noise in them than the other areas. Little detection loop. There definitely seems to be more noise in that area than there does back by the fuel pump. Okay, well, the truck is running. I've got that antenna hooked up, and as you can see, there's almost no noise. I have a alligator clip clipped to the radio, and I'm touching the door frame, which is grounded. Now, if I disconnect this ground, disconnected, touch the ground. I might have just found a solution. So let me try something. I did a little bit more testing. With that vertical mounted over there and the radio grounded to the truck, I get almost no noise. But the antenna's away from the truck. I tried putting the antenna back on the truck, and even with the radio grounded, the noise level is way too high. I tried using my mast. You can see my mast and my end fed back here. It's strung out in the yard. Still too noisy, so the antenna can't be near the truck. It's got to be at least a little bit of ways. How far? I got to figure that out. I got to figure out how far I have to be away before the noise goes away. So just to clarify, sorry, the sun's really bright right now. The truck is running. I've got the antenna, the radio is now grounded, and I have no noise. But I'm using the vertical out in the yard. If I put the vertical on the truck and use the coax that's in the truck to that antenna, the noise is still 100% S9. But that's only maybe 20-25 feet away. That antenna. So now I have an end fed set up. You can see, I think the piece of coax I'm using is 35 feet long. I'm not quite using all of it. Let's see if that picks up any noise, because that's a little bit better antenna. And it's a little bit farther away from the truck, but let's see what happens. No noise. Now, if you can see, there's no noise. Let's disconnect my ground. That doesn't seem to be making any difference with this antenna. Yep.
Whiskey 0, Charlie Golf Charlie, you are 57 and depart Kilo 2405.
Seems to be fine.
Hey, thanks for hunting from Tennessee today. I hope you have a good night.
So I gotta have it a little bit of ways from the truck.
Whiskey 0, Alpha Delta Lima, park to park.
So if the antenna's away from the truck, that end fed is away from the truck and it's fine. Even when the ground's not plugged in, I'm still getting great signal, no noise. I just can't be near the truck. I can't. Well, I got the end fed closer to the truck. It's about as far away as that vertical was, and it's picking up noise now. Not a lot, but it's picking up noise. So 25 to 30 feet, I think, is a good distance to alleviate the noise issue. Like I said, it's better than nothing. I would like to try a dipole too, but I don't know if I'm going to do that tonight. But I think I got enough data for now to know that I can do it. I just have to make sure my feed point is about 20 feet away from the truck, 20, 25, somewhere around there. And if I do that, then I can operate from the truck if it's running. If it's not running, obviously that's not a problem. But so it's something. And if accessories are on, I don't have any issues. It's only when the truck turns on. So maybe it is the fuel pump, like Kyle and a couple of other people said. But I don't know if there's anything I can do about it. It's something I'm still going to investigate and maybe talk to a couple people. Hopefully somebody has an idea. If you have an idea, let me know. But we have an expert in our club, like I said, who's a very technical. He actually does a lot of RF stuff. And he's on vacation right now, but hopefully when he comes back, maybe he can give me a hand and help me isolate that noise. And then I could put like a baby tar heel or something on the truck. That'd be kind of nice. That's my plan. And the reason why I want this is if we do a road trip, me and my wife do a road trip a lot of times we do a hike or something. After the hike, we get back to the truck. I can turn on the truck. We can start cooling down while I pull out the radio and do a POTA real quick. You know, so that's the idea anyhow. But I think maybe a vertical might be an easier solution than trying to do this. Especially at a park, if you're trying to do a quick activation. I mean, that antenna is only for 40 meters and it's giant. I know a vertical isn't as efficient, but I'd probably still be able to make my contacts. I might try rigging that up, rigging up some counterpoises for that antenna, so that'll work. Just to try it, or try to see if anybody in the area has a Buddy Stick Pro. I had a Wolf River coil and I didn't care for it because you're constantly tuning it. And I understand it's different now, and there are other antennas that have kind of set measurements and you just plop it down and it's good to go. You can mark it and everything. So I think that's might be the route I might want to try. That way I could just set the antenna away from the truck, throw out some radials, and I think that'll be a lot easier. Since I can't use the mast on the back of the truck, which is, to me, that's one of the fastest ways, is to throw up my hitch mast and be done. But if I got to do a vertical, I'll do a vertical. Maybe the Chameleon, maybe something like the Chameleon tactical delta loop that you just spike in the ground and put up. Maybe that'd be a good option. But I think that requires a tuner, and I really don't want to get a tuner. I don't want to get into a tuner. I'd rather tune the antenna than tune everything else, and have to take a tuner along. So. Yep. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little video series. A couple of videos of me dealing with this RF noise, and I'll keep you posted. This is Tango Oscar Mike saying 73. Take care.
Tango Oscar Mike.